Hey, it's Mazzy. Welcome back to the channel. 5 new releases, one of which I covered several months ago, but I put it in here for a reason because I'm starting out with a 3 record set. 3 record sets. Whenever you see 3 record sets, people say, "Man, that should have been cut down to an album." But I kind of like the flow of music, and this particular one, or these two, I like. One again, I showed before. So these are 5 records. One comes out next Friday, a week after I'm recording this on whatever, the 19th or so of September 2025. And I did get a promo CD of it. But I've been playing it for the last 5 days or so, and I'm really enjoying it. And the dynamics of this recording, the warmth of the acoustic guitars are stunning. Can't wait till this is on vinyl to pick it up. So I'm going to go through these 5, and here you go. The first one is Twilight Override. This is the new album by Tweedy, Jeff Tweedy, from Wilco. He's been doing these side projects for at least a decade or more, obviously more than that, 12, 13, 14 years of solo projects. And a lot of them have been with his son, the 2 sons and their son's friend on bass. And I was really bowled over by this, but let's just look at the packaging first. 3 CDs. Now, some may say that's too much Wilco, that's too much Tweedy. What a prolific songwriter he is. And I read an interview about this album and of course, it seems like there are 30 cuts, and the interviewer was saying, was this because of the White Album is 30 songs? But he talked about just the differences in the White Album. Now, the White Album, I've featured obviously that before. That's one of those albums like Tusk, and I think I did a video on the 2 of them together, as a matter of fact. They're all over the place, thematically, musically, orally as well. This has a vibe that's pretty direct. It takes some detours. It comes with a book of lyrics and who performs on it. And of course, it has his 2 sons on it. And what's striking about this, with his sons and these other women vocalists, the harmonies, the beautiful, lush harmonies come in and out. They're not on every track. 1 or 2 reminds me of like the Beatles on, Abbey Road Side 2. That lush harmonizing, it's gorgeous. Acoustically centered album, but there are a lot of electric guitars that come in and out of several songs, played by both Jeff Tweedy and James Elkington, the British guitarist, independent guitarist. There's some beautiful stuff on here. And it's just the right balance here. There's a lot of space on this record. Did I mention warmth? If this CD sounds so good, I can just imagine how great, hopefully, the LP, the vinyl sounds. Interesting about this cover, it's not bad. And then, of course, to distinguish which CD is 1, 2, or 3, you have Jeff Tweedy 1, you have Jeff Tweedy 2, and you have Jeff Tweedy 3. He recorded this at the Loft in Chicago, sort of the warehouse rehearsal space, storage space that Wilco has in the Chicago area. And it's so intimate. It's so beautiful. There are the angular detours that Wilco makes. People who don't know Wilco, no follow Wilco, on the surface, they think they're just another country rock band, but they've made obviously a lot of detours in their music and experimentations. I mean, especially Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, which is a pivotal point in their career, and really changed up things. And they've returned to the country rock roots and everything else. And of course, at essence, this is like a folk record. I mean, there's think of early Neil Young, or I'd say early 70s Neil Young, maybe Harvest and After the Gold Rush. There's some of that, but then it'll get into some other directions. There are not a lot of loud things like the Crazy Horse side of Neil Young, but there are, again, some electric guitar things, some cellos. But again, the space on this album, the way it's recorded is really just a really pleasing feel to it. I don't think I'd edit anything out of this record. Now, there are a couple of tracks that seem to end abruptly, that maybe they could have been expanded or completed and more finished, but I kind of like that. And I think that's what Tweedy obviously is attracted to in the vibe of the White Album. Some of the White Album is very polished, and as we know with the Beatles' White Album, some of it is seems like it was just knocked off. Literally, it was like, why don't we do it in the road, or running into the next room and just like basically slapping that out and banging that one out. But again, the vocal harmonies is a centerpiece on this. You don't really hear these kind of harmonies on Wilco records. And it's great that with Tweedy here, in this album, Tweedy with a D, he's able to bring this together with his sons. You got that, obviously, the vocals all sound like female vocals, even though there are two women singing on here, as well as his sons, the young sons, I guess in their early 20s now. But I just think this is an incredible record. And I was surprised by it. I don't know why I was surprised. The Wilco albums I have, sometimes some take longer to get into than others. The Jeff Tweedy albums, some are very slapshot, but I still enjoy them. But I don't go back to them very often. The early Tweedy records, the one called Tweedy, I guess, in, was it 2012, 2013 or so, give or take. But I think this is one that's going to be on the stereo quite a bit. Twilight Overdrive comes out next week. Highly recommended. And for me, it was a big surprise. I wasn't necessarily excited about this, but now I think it's one of the better albums this year. And that brings me to a record that I showcased maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I actually interviewed the gentleman, David Lowery. This is a 3-record set as well. And the reason I'm returning to this, because playing this Wilco Jeff Tweedy album the last few days, and the expanse of it, and the triple record set, it reminded me of this record only because of the expanse of it. Now, this David Lowery album, Fathers, Sons, and Brothers, I did showcase before, but maybe some of you haven't watched. But I think this is one of the special albums of the year. And this is going to remain on my top 10 list of the year, so far at least, unless something changes. This is an autobiographical album. He really kind of started during the pandemic. And of course, David Lowery was the original member of, and he still has it, of Camper Van Beethoven and then Cracker. And those bands continue to play. In fact, I would like to have gone in the California desert last weekend to see the Camp Beethoven weekend, where various artists play with Camper Van Beethoven and other musicians in and out, working on set lists. And they do play together. And Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven even tour together, sometimes reversing who's the headliner. Great intimate songs in here. It talks about his life growing up in California, going to Santa Cruz, starting Camper Van Beethoven, having a semi-hit with Take the Skinheads Bowling, and where it went from there. Personal songs of his father, going to Disneyland when he was a kid. This is an album that was put out instead of a written biography. Does it in song, does it in music. This is a tri-fold record. This came out on Cooking Vinyl, and it is a stunner. This is a folky album. Again, a lot of acoustic guitars again. Not unlike what Tweedy's doing. Now, Tweedy tends to have a little more whispering in his voice, a little low-key. You know how Tweedy has that, just a slight level above a hush sometimes. He's very articulate in a different way and very succinct. And his stories, it's the tradition of great folk music like Woody Guthrie or Bob Dylan or Neil Young or other artists. Now, there's some electric things on here, but there's just some great hooks. And this is an album you really want to follow and listen to the story. But not only have I been playing this album continuously since it came out, but this is one I pull up in the car. If I'm taking a little longer than an hour road trip, this is a great, almost like a books on tape version of an album. I just think this is something that is very special, and I just wanted to showcase it again. It does come up with an expansive book of photographs and all the lyrics in here. David Lowery, Another great man who sports a wonderful, it looks like a Stetson possibly. So David Lowery's album, Fathers, Sons, and Brothers. Highly recommended. Both these albums are. Next, an album that I was anticipating, and initially I was a little disappointed. This is Double Infinity by Big Thief. Couple things before I get into the music. I don't really get into the pressing quality of something, but this was a local indie version I got, which is this green vinyl. I think it's an okay green vinyl. I don't buy things because of the colored vinyl. I just soon get black. But again, colored vinyl makes no difference. It's vinyl. Black vinyl is colored vinyl. However, my copy has a slight warp to it. I didn't bother returning it because it's not a sharp warp, but it's not a perfectly flat record. 4AD, I'm talking to you. I don't know who pressed it, but of course, last year, my #1 album of the year was by Adrienne Lenker. She is a singer. She has a parallel soul career, but her solo album last year was my all-time favorite. Very country, folky, intimate record. You can see the theme here so far of a lot of acoustic-based records. Now, for Big Thief, this is a more produced record. There's more layers on it. There's more guests on it. And it's taken me a while to acclimate to it, to get into it, but now I'm enjoying it. It's not as diverse as their last album that came out, maybe 3-4 years ago now, and I'm forgetting the name of that album. That is their hero record, whatever the name is, with the white cover with the pencil illustration. Check it out. Look it up. I'm not telling you here because I don't remember right now. But this album, again, think of like when the Talking Heads added more musicians and more layers when they had the, was it Tony Levin or Adrian Blue or whoever they added, and then the other, the other bass players, percussion artists, the singers. I'm not saying it sounds like that, but it's that graduation from being a core band to adding these other musicians and layers and arrangements on here. So it takes a while to incubate this album. I like it. I'm not loving it yet. The songs are interesting. The songs aren't as intimate as last time, especially as Adrienne Lenker. But I think it's a good album. It's a solid album, but we'll see how this, if I warm up to it more over the next few months. But this is Big Thief, and this is called Double Infinity on 4AD record. Up Your Pressing. I don't know, this is just a one-off, so I didn't bother since I bought it at a local. The last two albums I'm going to showcase here are reissues, or basically archival records. This is a direct reissue. This just came out a couple months ago as well. And this is a record that I've had on CD since it came out, Static and Silence by the Sundays. This is their third and final record, I believe. And I just love this record. I think the first two are a little more interesting. This gets a little more commercial, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's got great hooks. It's kind of a shoegaze. Think of the Cocteau Twins, but more less ethereal and more song-based, or more hooks on it. It's got the beautiful vocals of Harriet Wheeler on here, and it does have that shoegaze kind of sound too, and that dream pop sound a little bit. But again, more song-based, less floaty than Cocteau Twins or bands like that. And it's just a beautiful record. This is a wonderful pressing. This is a beautiful recording. It's got this beautiful black vinyl. I believe it came originally out on Geffen Records. This came out in 1997. Just a great sounding record, a great pressed record, a great mastering record. I don't know the DNA of this, whether it's from a digital source. My guess is it probably is, but it's a beautiful record. And, for a sub $25 record, this is a winner this year for reissues. The Sunday, Static and Silent. And lastly, something very different. My friend Joey Callio from Seven Horse and Dada gave me this, Margo Guryan. Now, when I saw this, I thought this might be some kind of unreleased bossa nova record, some Latin artist and everything, but obviously this is not that at all. This is called 28 Demos, and it's just that. She was a songwriter in the late 50s into the 1960s and 70s. She wrote songs that were basically in a sort of the sunshine pop area, or artists like Spanky and Our Gang. In fact, one of the songs on here, one of her most famous songs, Sunday Morning, was a massive hit for Spanky and Our Gang. Kind of a maybe an answer or to Mamas and Papas. They kind of had that vibe way back. But that was a big hit that she wrote. She was primarily a songwriter. Again, in the vein of Carole King at the time, or Neil Diamond, or Harry Nilsson, writing songs, putting demos together. Again, the sunshine pop thing is part of it, obviously, in the pop realm. And this is demos that she did, from just piano-based things, electric piano, to small group arrangements with bass and rhythm sections. And these are the demos publishing demos that they would send out to artists and producers to get them recorded. And this is really a cool record. It surprised me. She's got this beautiful light voice. I don't know. I think she had some albums, or at least one, released on her own accord, on her own name. It didn't really do well or do that great. But this is a beautiful issue. This is obviously from the Numero Group, who puts out some excellent reissues and things that you don't expect. This is a 2-record set with an insert kind of going over each song, I think in her own words. Yeah, Margo's talking about these songs. She passed away about 4 years ago. She was in her mid-80s. So long, fruitful life in Los Angeles, originally from the East Coast, and one of those great songwriters, maybe in a tradition of the Brill Building songwriters, but that would move to LA, and then, of course, shopping around the songs. And it's great when an artist like this, sort of unknown to most mere mortals, including myself, gets sort of a venue, or a release like this, something put out for people to really kind of see where the nucleus of these songs came from. And just a great package with this great kind of foiled, not spot varnish, but a foiled stamped cover art. A beautiful work by Numero Group. And thank you, Joey, for this. And this is really a cool issue, something very different, minimal, but again, some solo piano with vocals and some small band arrangements with a rhythm section and a few overdubs. Now, some of this was recorded in mono at the time, when they would record on mono and then bounce down to a second mono machine to do some overdubs. Some obviously in stereo later when consoles got bigger and 4, 8, 16 track things happened. But a cool collection. Margo Guryan, 28 demos. And that's it. New releases, or new-ish releases. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I need a little help here. Let's bump things up a little bit. 60% of you watch this and don't subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. I'm asking you, please. Mazzy loves you.